Hi everyone, this is Maya Lemberg at True Integrative Health and Wellness here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm a therapist, and I wanted to put out this week's video to talk about relationships. And more specifically, how our childhood really impacts the way we show up and experience relationships. So it all starts with the original intimate relationships, the relationships that we form with our parents, and what happens in our home growing up. So as we are growing, as we're babies, as we're toddlers and children, but especially those really early years, our parents model empathy for us. Our parents are the original reflectors of who we are. So if our parents really reflect ourselves back to us without any judgment, with truly a lot of love and compassion to us, we develop a very solid sense of self and a very solid sense of safety in the world. That because this person loves me and sees me and takes care of all of my basic needs, and that means I'm secure in the world, and the world is generally an okay, safe place to be. And because of that, I can allow myself to just be. Okay. Uh, Often that's not the case. We don't have to have perfect parents. Most of the time, good enough parenting works just as well. But a lot of times, our parents don't reflect who we are and are too involved in whatever they're going through in their internal world to really be very present. So we develop kind of a unstable, unsafe relationship with the world, and an unstable understanding of who we are, that who we are is not really ever enough, and that we have to continuously to try and mold ourselves to satisfy someone else, to appease someone else, so we can get the love and safety that we really needed to begin with, the connection piece. Okay. So this lays the emotional maps of relationships. Our primary relationships that happen before we even have a recollection of them happening all put down the foundation of how all relationships are, whether we realize it or not. It's in there, it's an implicit memory. This is how people are, this is how people connect. So if relationships and intimacy and vulnerability is a very dangerous thing, being in intimate relationships is going to feel very dangerous. So years later, we start to explore adulthood, and including falling in love. And we might think that we're seeing the person before us with a very clear, objective perspective with sober eyes. But most of the time, we're seeing the person before us in some kind of a projective way, like they are a projection of what we already understand of people and relationships and the world. So a lot of times, once we get past like the initial honeymoon phase, we start to experience a lot of communication breakdowns, where one person says one thing and it's completely misinterpreted because we're not actually hearing, what they're really saying and what they're really meaning. We're hearing what we already understand of relationships and of love. So a lot of these communications can get very misconstrued, and we're going about blindly, and we will continue to go about blindly until we realize what's actually going on. Why do I have specific reactions to my partner? Why do I keep manifesting the same kind of partner? And how can I break my pattern? So we break the pattern by looking in the past. So becoming mindful that something's going on continuously that isn't working anymore. Okay, where did I learn this? How did my parents treat each other? How did my parents treat me? What was it like to talk about feelings in relationship? How was communication handled? What about vulnerability and intimacy? And did I experience genuine safety, love, connection, compassion, all of these things? If not, that's okay. Doesn't mean that it's a lost cause. You can still experience that in your adult life with a stable attachment figure like a partner. But we do have to have a good bit of mindfulness in place to realize what we're doing. It slow down the process, not immediately react from our place of woundedness that happened so long ago that maybe our partners don't even realize that happened, or don't realize that they're triggering at all, and start to bring compassion into the equation. That I'm reacting in this way, or my partner's reacting in this way because of a place of pain, because of a place of suffering that really needs to be treated gently with compassion and understanding and love. And at the same time, not taking too personally when your partner is being projective. That if both parties can awaken to what's happening between them and start to become more stable and more grounded for each other and more compassionate, then we can start to develop that that solid foundation that maybe we didn't get as children, and really grow into more loving and secure people in ourselves and for each other. So that's a little tidbit that happens on a daily basis between so many couples that come into my office, and what happens at home. So I just wanted to encourage everyone to think a little bit more deeply of their patterns with relationships and where they might come from, and how to interrupt them. So if you'd like to find out more, it's mayalambertcounseling.com. I have a bunch of videos online. Check out my Facebook page as well. And I do sessions here in my office with couples and individuals in Atlanta, Georgia, as well as Skype. So thank you so much for watching, and be well.